Lights, camera, action!
What up, friends? So, I totally forgot to make this video. I feel like some of you guys were waiting on it. I did have some people that were just like, hey, I want to know what Jay thinks about the Oscars, what his predictions are this year. And I've got predictions. I formulated pretty much most of this a long time ago. But again, I just forgot to make the video, so please forgive me. This video is seriously going up just a few hours before the Oscars. Like if you're in West Coast time, this video will go up at like 11 a.m. on Sunday, which would be like 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 2 p.m. Pretty much about like 5 hours before the ceremony starts, or at least the red carpet, whatever. Let me not waste no more time. I'm not going to like run down all the nominees in every category. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to mention the category, who I think's going to win, and I'm going to save the screenplay categories for last because those are the most important to me. So here we go. Here are my predictions for Oscar 2024. All right, so for Best Live Action Short, I think it's going to go to Night of Fortune. For the longest, I was thinking it was going to go to The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, because that's Wes Anderson and, whatever. But now I'm pulling back from that. I think it's going to go to Night of Fortune. For Best Animated Short, War is Over, inspired by John and Yoko. For Best Documentary Short, The Last Repair Shop. Best Documentary Feature, 20 Days in Mariupol. I hope I pronounced that correctly. For Best Visual Effects, this is going to Godzilla Minus One. If you haven't seen it, Godzilla Minus One is a spectacular film. The fact that they did what they did on the tiny budget that they have is just amazing. And the funny thing is, I think that most people assume that Oppenheimer would have had this in the bag, but Oppenheimer wasn't even nominated. I don't know why. I still don't really understand why it was kind of like left off the short list to begin with. But since Oppenheimer is not in the visual effects category, this is definitely going to Godzilla Minus One. For Best Sound, that's definitely going to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's got that. Best Makeup, I'm going to go with Maestro here. I'm going to say Maestro. For Best Production Design, Poor Things, hands down. Poor Things is a beautiful film to look at. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Poor Things. Best Score, Oppenheimer. My man Ludwig Göransson, he's done it again. After Black Panther and so many other films, now he's done it again. My man is getting that statue. For Best Song, What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. I really wanted I'm Just Ken to win, but the nomination is going to have to suffice. It's a great song. It is a great song. And that entire sequence is just amazing. But yeah. Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For? It's definitely going to win. Best Editing, Oppenheimer. Best Costume Design, once again, Poor Things. Just the costumes they're just gorgeous. Like everything about this movie, it's a visual feast. Everything about Poor Things just looks fantastic. That includes costumes, so costume design is going to Poor Things. Best Animated Film. It's not often that a sequel wins, especially like a sequel to like an Oscar-winning, film, but I think that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going to take Best Animated Film. And it's just a marvel to behold. Like, oh, marvel. Best International Film. It's going to go to The Zone of Interest. I have not seen The Zone of Interest, but everyone has been raving about The Zone of Interest. And it just makes me feel like they want to give it something. So, Best International Film, Zone of Interest. Best Cinematography, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer. Hoyt van Hoytema, please forgive me for my pronunciation. But yeah, he's definitely getting the statue for Oppenheimer. All right, here we go. Here we go. Best Supporting Actress, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. Best Supporting Actor, Oppenheimer. Robert Downey Jr. This is honestly like and the thing about it, this is one of the strongest categories because you've got Sterling K. Brown, who I think is magnificent in American Fiction. You've got Mark Ruffalo, who, I mean, oh my God, his performance in Poor Things. Honestly, like I think his performance is the best thing about that film. And so it's unfortunate that he's going up against, his Marvel bro Robert Downey Jr. because Downey gives such a powerful performance in Oppenheimer, especially like that last third of Oppenheimer. I mean, I just feel like that's all Downey. And so he deserves the Oscar, just based on his performance alone. But I also think that the Academy and the film industry just really want to reward him. They just want to show their appreciation to him. Like, this is as much a lifetime Oscar as it is an Oscar for this specific performance. So yeah, I don't see doubt. If there's any Oscar that I am certain about, it's this one. Robert Downey Jr. is winning for Oppenheimer. Best Actress. I think it's going to go to Emma Stone. I know that a lot of people are, rooting for Lily Gladstone. And I'll admit, I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen it. But Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things is it's phenomenal. And the thing was, when I saw it, when I walked out of the theater, I was just like, yeah, Emma's getting her second statue. So that's my pick. Emma Stone for Poor Things. Best Actor. This is one that I've gone back and forth on. For the longest, I was like, Cillian Murphy has definitely got it for Oppenheimer. Then I saw The Holdovers, and I was just like, oh man, Paul Giamatti he's just wonderful, And it's one of those things where it's just like, he gives such a great performance, and I don't know, I feel like the Academy wants to recognize that, his performance. But I also, as much as I love Giamatti in The Holdovers, I don't see it happening. I see the Oscar going to Cillian Murphy. So if there's one that I'm shaky on, yeah, I just told y'all, if there's one that I'm confident about, but if there's an award that I'm shaky on, it's this one. But I'm still going to go with Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Best Director, Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Come on. Come on. Best Picture, Oppenheimer, obviously. Who else? Who else it going to be? Who? All right, and now the screenplay. My predictions for the screenplay Oscars. For Best Original Screenplay, I think it's going to go to The Holdovers. And it's funny because now, like, The Holdovers is, like, embroiled in controversy. Like, people are saying, there's an article that came out in Variety talking about how The Holdovers might have plagiarized a script titled Frisco. And I think I might have Frisco now that I think about it. So I'm going to look at my computer and see if I have Frisco. But in any case, I thought The Holdovers was a wonderful film, and that's why, I've always just been confident that it's going to win Best Original Screenplay. So that's who I'm predicting will win, and I'm predicting it will win Best Original Screenplay because Barbie is going to win Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, before the WGA decided that Barbie was an adapted screenplay as opposed to an original screenplay, I kept saying that Barbie was going to win original screenplay. But the fact remains, even though it's not like based on a story, Barbie is still based on existing material. Barbie and Ken and Alan and Midge and all that stuff. Like, it's like 60 years worth, 70 years worth of whatever, lore or, characters or whatever, however you want to put it. So even though the script that was written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, even though that is like an original story that they came up with, they're still using these characters and this IP that was created, by Ruth Handler, I think is her name, but created by Mattel long ago. And so it falls into the adapted category. If that had not been the case, I would have said American Fiction would have won adapted screenplay and Barbie would have won original. But because that's not the case, Barbie is winning adapted screenplay and The Holdovers is winning original screenplay. And there you have it, my friends. Those are my predictions for Oscars 2024. If you watch it before the ceremony, then I guess I might look like Nostradamus to you. And if you watch it after the ceremony, you probably be like, "Nah, Jay, you were wrong. You were so absolutely wrong, and you should never, ever, ever try to predict the Oscars again." Also, I didn't know if I was going to actually watch the Oscars. Usually I watch the Oscars like at a bar or something like that. But my friend Laura invited me to her spot. They're doing like an Oscar watch party. So I'm going to the Oscar watch party. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Even though I won't be drinking. I won't drink. I promise I won't. All right, fam. See y'all. Peace. Bye. Bye-bye. Kind of looking forward to it. I had some people... Motherfucker.